Hey guys, and welcome back to Dan's Pro Shop. Today, we're going to light up your life a little bit. Today, we're talking about the new Olight Javelot Turbo 2. So if you're interested in something like this handy little guy, stick around. We're going to do it. So right out of the gate, let's look at this awesome freaking case that this thing comes in. This is the way that you receive this from Olight. If you opt to get like the kit for this flashlight, you get this amazing, like, it's basically like a little Pelican case. It's got the equalizer here, so like if you fly with this thing, or chances that you check this as something in an airline, but whatever. Super nice case. Let's get into this thing. Look at that, man. I tell you what, 10 out of 10 for presentation. So obviously we have the light itself, and I gotta tell you, man, this thing is absolutely freaking stunning. Don't worry, we'll go over it here in a minute. Further on into the kit here, we actually have a remote that operates this flashlight. And man, I haven't thought of like crazy applications for this thing yet, but it is freaking awesome how this works. I promise we'll do it. Digging in a little more, we have like, it's like a bracelet slash mount slash whatever you want to do with it for this remote. So like if you want to mount this thing on a pew pew, or put this somewhere, it's cool. Like they've put some thought into this. These guys right here are different lens covers for the light. So I think we can create, what is it, green and red, something like that. I know we'll plug them in and make absolutely sure what's what, but we have different diffusion lenses here to change the light output of this light. This guy right here is just like another mount application for this. So like, I don't know, like maybe if you have like a tack rail in your vehicle, or like a crash bar and a side-by-side or something, you want to mount this flashlight, it's actually pretty handy. I don't know, I was thinking about maybe modifying this to like go on the side of my toolbox or something, but it's cool how this works. I really do like it. And down in here, we have some like little sticky rubber pads and just like different application stuff for like if you want to put this on something and not scratch it or whatever. But yeah, that's the basis of the kit. And plus, it comes with a USB-C charging cable from Olight. So if you guys are here and you're checking this out, you probably already know about Olight and you're just doing your homework about this little gem. Well, I got to tell you, ever since I found out about Olight, dude, I'm kind of like a fanboy now. Like my everyday carry light is an Arkfeld Pro from Olight, and I absolutely freaking love that thing. Just like the handiness of it, and like they take customer input into their products. And this is kind of like an example of that. This is an insanely powerful flashlight in an even more insanely small package. I mean, you can tell here that the lens is pretty big, but that's for good reason. This thing can really flood out an area. But that being said, even though you get like a wide beam of light of it, it is incredibly like intensified in certain places. But with the intensity being stated, you can change this thing between 4 different modes. There's like ultra low, or like moon, they call like moonbeam or something, and then low, middle, and turbo. So let's say low, middle, high, and turbo. And there are multiple ways to control this thing. Let me show you what I mean. So first things first, let's take a look at this thing. And I gotta tell you, man, the quality of this, it is all billet. Like this thing is beefy. It's got these real nice like jagged serrations on the handle, just some cool like heat dissipation stuff. And it is just a pretty flashlight. And I mentioned earlier about the USB-C. This little spring-loaded billet flap is what covers your USB-C. So that is how, well, at least that's one way to charge this, and I'll get into it. This guy here is like the main power switch. We have like a colored anodized aluminum ring here with power indication. So you get 25% increments of charge. So right now, give it a little bit of a long press there, and it turns it on and gives you a battery indication. Another long press to turn it off. Now, if we turn this thing on and then do a short cycle, That is what cycles through your modes. Now, in order to turn it back off, long press, and we're off. Now, one of the coolest things about this, the end here. You see how it's kind of like funky looking? Well, if you guys are familiar with Olight, you'll know what I'm talking about next. A lot of Olight flashlights utilize this magnetic charging system. So if you already have Olight stuff like the Sphere or an Arkfeld Pro or an Arkfeld Ultra, you use this to charge that. Well, check this out. This exact same charger goes on the end of this Turbo too. How freaking handy is that? So like you don't even have to use that USB-C. It's just nice that you have that option. So, you know, like you got your phone charger sitting in your truck. Well, now you can charge your flashlight with it, or you can use the charger that you already have. So not only is this end plate acceptable for the mag charger, but this is also an end button for the light. So let me show you a little bit more how this works. So I'm going to do my best to try to like show you this without blinding the camera, because I know if I point this thing right at you, it's just going to wash out the image. So on the end here, which not only is it nice for like ergonomics, it makes it super nice to like use this thing because it's handy. If you give it a short, shallow press, like not all the way, not click it in, just a short, shallow, momentary press, it gives you the lowest light setting on the flashlight. So, you need to go in somewhere, maybe you're clearing an area or something, you don't want to be bright, but you want to be able to see. You just give this thing a short press, one of these deals. It's nice that you have that end, like thumb activated switch. Now, if you want to go full tilt, you go past the short momentary press, go all the way in and click it. That goes you right to turbo mode. And if you do a short press, well, a short duration full press all the way in, it latches it onto turbo mode. So it's just on. If you do a long duration full press, it acts as momentary. So then you let go, it shuts off. But it determines like how far you go into the press is which light you get. So shallow press, you get the dim light. Deep press, you get the turbo. Now, that turbo light thing on this, which is insanely bright, which we'll do in the environment here, don't worry about it. There is a caveat to that I gotta let you know. Now, like I mentioned earlier about the charge indication here, in order for the turbo mode to work, this has to be over 50% charge. Now, this flashlight still does work in low, medium, and high if you are 50% or less. But in order to utilize turbo mode, this has to be 50% or more, which, I mean, yeah, that's to be expected. I'm sure that uses significantly more power. But just to let you know that, I found that out when I first started using this. Now, some of you may be asking, hey, Dan, you're just talking about charging and battery and blah, 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 blah. Does this thing have an integrated battery that I can't change whenever this thing takes a dump? It's just garbage, I gotta throw it away? No, check this out. This guy right here has a removable / replaceable lithium ion 5,000 milliamp battery. Check this out. Like, this is like the holy grail. I mean, you get all that output from just one battery, and there's like no weight to it whatsoever. I tell you what, since we're talking about weight, let's check that out. Go ahead and get us a gram scale here. Now, just for the battery itself, we got 175 grams. For the light, 255. Now everything all put together, 430. So less than 450 grams for this entire thing. This thing isn't much. Like, you're not going to get fatigued winging this thing around all day. Now, like I mentioned, this little remote thing. So not only is it a remote, like check this out. You can tell I'm not pushing any buttons or doing anything. You click the remote. Look at that. It turns the light on to whatever your last setting was. So a long press holds the light on for as long as you're pressing the button. You let go, it shuts the light off. A short press, whoop, turns it on and latches it on. And this is just super handy. Now, you can imagine that this little remote takes some battery for it to operate. Well, if you were paying attention earlier, you may have seen something. So, on the back of the remote here, you see these 3 little contacts? Well, take a look at the top of the flashlight. Look at that. It magnets and indexes right onto the flashlight to charge this little guy up. Now, I don't know how often this is going to have to be charged. I mean, obviously, it's based on your usage, but it's cool. And we even have a charge indicator on the button. So this is just super handy. Like, you don't have to have a separate charger for this. You don't have to blah-de-blah-de-blah, whatever you want to do, but it is super handy. I absolutely love this thing. I'm not really sure what I'm going to use it for yet, but I tell you what, this thing could be a real tactical advantage. Now, I'm sure you're wondering about how far away this remote works. Well, according to the book, it says about 1 meter-ish. So technically, I'm not even sure what that metric conversion is, but I don't know. It says a meter. And I don't know, let's just try this thing. So I'm gonna magnet this thing up to the garage door track here, all the way clean at the end. And yeah, you can use that butt mount thing as a magnet too. So look how handy that is. Go over here, clean to the other end. Here, I'll get the lights for you. Clearing the opposite end of the garage. Not sure if Jens can still see me over here, but check this out. Hit the button, light on. So this is, I don't know, that's quite a ways here. So, I mean, at very least 30 feet. I don't know how far away you're going to need to be from this thing for it to work. But, dude, this is super handy. I don't know, like maybe you need to use this thing for an overhead light in like a steel garage car, like a steel carport thing. You're working on your car out in the middle of the night and, you know, just clip that on the ceiling above you. Now you got a light with a remote that you can easily put in your pocket. This thing's going to be handy, I'm telling you. Now, as far as these covered lenses go, this is totally up to you and whatever you're doing. But they're just rubber. They slip right over the front of the flashlight. And now we have a green light. I don't know how well that's showing up to you guys or if you can really tell what's going on. It probably looks blue to you. But let me get behind you here and see if you can see it. There you go. You can kind of tell. Yeah, to the camera, oh no, that looks green. But yeah, it is pretty nifty how that works. Let's check out the other one. And for the other lens here, this one should be red. Oh, it sure is. That is red. Man, this thing is really cool. I gotta tell you, man, like if you have one of those old school, like 3-foot long mag lights with a bunch of D batteries in it, this thing 100% replaces that for 1/3 of the size, probably 1/4 of the cost, and like 5 million times the output. Now, I guess to give you like a brief little, just to show you what this thing can do. I mean, we'll do a better one, but I'll shut the lights off in here just so you can see how this thing like, boom. Alrighty, I know this isn't a perfect example because it's in the middle of the day and it's actually kind of bright in here even with the lights off. But here, we got the Turbo 2. We'll go ahead and hit it in turbo mode. Look at that, man. That is absolutely freaking insane. So let's turn this guy on and cycle through the modes. So right there, turbo. Oh, that's turbo. Holy cow. Man, this thing really is bright. That's low, middle, high, and turbo. Look at that. This thing is freaking insane, the output for how small this is. So let's do this face in the other direction so you get a little more. So there is low, middle, high, and turbo. Dude, this is freaking insane. This completely lights up an entire space. I'm like, wait until you see this outside, like in the dark. Well, hey guys, you're gonna have to excuse me. I came out here and immediately forgot that I didn't have a microphone. But either way, this is all visual, not audio. Take a look here. We're gonna start with the lowest setting here. Next one up, medium, high, and then turbo. Look at this. Like, I don't know how far down here you guys can see. This is absolutely unreal. unreal. We're talking like several hundred yards. You have a multi, like probably a 10 or a 15 foot wide circle of just bright white. This is unreal. Sorry, you may have fell over there for a bit, but you can see the weather conditions I'm working in. It is absolutely unreal how far this thing gets out there. Like, it's impressive. Dude, I gotta tell you, I'm absolutely blown away by the output performance and like package of this thing. Now, obviously, this isn't gonna be like your holster everyday carry light, but for applications where you need a lot of light, but not carrying a lot of light, this thing's freaking awesome. Like, it's small, it's ergonomic, it fits in the hand well, but it does what it's supposed to, and it does it insanely well. Now, that being said, let's go over some specs here for those of you that are curious. Now, according to the manual here, on low mode at 15 lumens with 100% charge, 272 hours of use. I tell you what, man, if you're boondocking and you're like hard up for power, this is gonna last you a long time. A medium with 115 lumens, 30 hours. High, 600 lumens, 630 minutes. Now, here, if you drop below half charge, 30 minutes. Now, when you're using turbo mode is when things kind of change because of the amount of draw on the battery. So at 1800 lumens, you get between 4.5 and 120 minutes based on the state of charge of the battery. But either way, you get a lot out of this light regardless of the charge state. Now, it's super nice to have that turbo, but you don't need it because of how insanely bright this thing is. But it's cool, man. If you got the battery and you got the butt behind it, this thing can really light up a room. Man, I gotta tell you, this Javelot Turbo 2, Olight has just really blown my windows down with the stuff that they're making. This crap is just so impressive, user-friendly, ergonomic, it fits, it just like, it has features that I didn't know that I wanted until I used it. And now I just kind of like expect that to be the normal for lights. But it's an Olight thing. Like, just the fact that like this little tactical remote thing here, how it clips onto the side and charges itself. So, you know, in the event you want to use this thing for tactical situations, you know, mount this somewhere and then hit the button and now I got light. Like, I don't know, get creative with how you can use this, but I know that I'm going to be able to use this. And the fact that it comes in this like little Pelican case that like you can throw in your toolbox or under the seat in your truck and not have to worry about it. Man, I really do like this thing. And if you're looking at this, I know you're going to also. So if you are interested in this Turbo 2, go ahead and check out the link down in the description and grab one of these for yourself. I'm sure that they're not going to be in stock for long because this is an awesome little light. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one and we will see you next time.